What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And I'm not going to get into spoilers. This is my quick non-spoiler review. I will do a spoiler review soon where I talk more about my thoughts on the trilogy and get more in-depth into the film. But, you know, I liked The Last Jedi. That's all I'm going to say on that. On those terms of, what I thought of the other films. So what did I think of this film? What did I think of The Rise of Skywalker? I have never hated a Star Wars film, and I don't think I ever will. I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's a great film, and I think that it could have been better. It feels like J.J. Abrams... I didn't hate Rian Johnson's take on Star Wars, but it feels like they didn't have a plan with Rian Johnson's film, and it feels like J.J. Abrams tried to make two movies with The Rise of Skywalker. There are characters that feel like they should have been introduced in the sequel, and are rushed, and they try to make you care about them, but it doesn't really work to me, because they don't really, they try to make you care, but at this late in the game, I can't really care about them. The only characters that really have a true arc and conclusion and, anything you can really latch onto to me are Kylo Ren and Rey, and Kylo Ren has been really the one consistent character. And they do something with Kylo Ren that I told myself I would never like in a film if they did it, but the way they executed it was excellent, and it completely worked for me. I was floored by Kylo Ren in this movie. But, there's some good action sequences. That might be the one complaint some people have, is that there are definitely not a lot of action sequences in the film. There's one main action scene in the middle between Rey and Kylo Ren, and then there's a big battle at the end, but it's honestly kind of a rushed, short battle, and it's not really even a battle, so you could complain about that, but it doesn't really bother me, because I care about stuff in Star Wars other than the action sequences. It does feel like it was rushed. It feels like character beats and things are rushed. Characters sometimes come across as plot devices rather than real characters. They give these characters something that they need so they can get to this place. It just feels like people have been saying it's a video game plot, but that doesn't really bother me, because if you ask me, Star Wars has never been the most complicated in terms of plots. Like New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, they're very simple stories. So that doesn't really bother me. That didn't really bother me in this film. It felt like Star Wars. It felt like classic Star Wars. It was like, this is what Star Wars is, I don't really get that complaint about it feeling like, feeling like a video game. Yes, it does feel a little bit more like a video game than the other ones, but it's just a simple plot to me, and that's what Star Wars has always been. It doesn't really bother me about that. C-3PO is funny. Chewbacca has one really good scene, but other than that, he's kind of a plot device once again. R2-D2 does what he always does. He sits off screen, doesn't really do anything, and there's a new cute droid that they introduce. There's two new characters, Zori Bliss and Janna, and like I say, they try to make you care, and I just really didn't care at all. The biggest thing, Emperor Palpatine is returned. I'm sorry, guys, I did not like his inclusion in the movie. It feels like, once again, J.J. Abrams had a plan that this character was going to be Snoke. So they write in this thing at the beginning where it's just Palpatine's back, there's no explanation how or why. There are vague lines of dialogue that still don't actually explain how he's back. He's just back, and he's not dead, and he's just, here, and it makes no sense. I didn't like what they did with Palpatine, and I'm not gonna lie and say that Palpatine was always the most interesting character, because Palpatine was always this kind of maniacal, cackling guy twiddling his fingers, he was always that kind of character. He was just like, meh. But in this movie, he's basically just, the plot basically consists of, at the very beginning, they get a message, basically, I'm not going to spoil everything, saying the Palpatine's back. And then they're like, okay, we have to get to this place to get this thing, so we can get this thing, and then we can find and kill Palpatine. That's the plot. They're getting a thing to get a thing, so they can find this thing and kill Palpatine. So the character of Palpatine isn't actually a character, he's just a place you need to get to. And that means that for most of the movie, he's just sitting in a dark room and isn't really a true threat. And even in the final battle, he never felt like a true threat to me. So I didn't really care about Palpatine. I didn't like what they did with him. I don't really think it ruins Anakin's character arc from, Phantom Menace all the way to Return of the Jedi. I don't get that excuse or that complaint. But his character just didn't really work for me in the movie. He just felt forced, and it felt like that he was supposed to be Snoke, but since Rian Johnson killed Snoke, they had to rush to that like they had to just write in a quick explanation as to why Palpatine's back. I love Ian McDiarmid, and he gives a good performance, but he didn't really work for me. I just don't find him intimidating anymore. Like, I found myself laughing at quite a few scenes. There is some bad writing. Like, there are parts where the writing is kind of bad and the script needed some tightening up, and it just made me laugh because the dialogue is just really weak. And it's like they have bad writing, and then the characters make a joke or are like, wow, that's really weird. And it's like, I get that you're addressing your bad writing in like a kind of a funny way or a humorous way, but that doesn't change the fact that your writing's bad. So not going to give your bad writing a pass because you actually are self-aware about the fact that your writing's bad, if you get what I mean. But yeah, other than that, it was a good movie. Or the thing is, I don't even know if it is a good movie. Like, I enjoyed the experience of watching it, and I can understand why people don't like it. But it just, like, a lot of stuff worked for me in this movie. And I want to see it again, like, probably not in theaters, but I'm more interested to rewatch it than I am, like, Avengers Endgame. Like, I probably like this more than Endgame. It feels more consistent in tone and quality, and in its structure than Endgame. Endgame just really doesn't work for me, guys, I'm sorry. This movie just worked better for me than that. So I enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. It's not a perfect film, so I'm going to give it a C+ or a B-. Like I say, it's not a perfect film. But I enjoyed it. I've never hated a Star Wars film, and I probably never will hate a Star Wars film. Even when they aren't that good, you can count on them for being enjoyable, and this one's enjoyable. Like, I am not going to lie and pretend like I didn't enjoy myself. I expected that it was probably going to be bad. I didn't go in wanting to hate it, but I enjoyed myself while watching it. So you guys have a Merry Christmas, and as always, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.